Welcome to our Hatha yoga class. My name is Tammy. Our theme for our class is blessings, and I just wanted to read this really lovely quote. It is from a country singer, Willie Nelson, and it's on this calendar that I bought, and it's it's mindfulness, so something every day. So this is actually for today. It's January 29th, and it says, "When I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around." And again, that was by Willie Nelson. So I think that's really important for us to take notice of all the wonderful things that we do have. Beginning our class, we shall lie down on our back. Now, with yoga, we are counting our blessings with yoga. For Hatha yoga, it really provides strength and flexibility in our body, our mind, and our breath. So strength and flexibility in our body, mind, and breath. Lying down on the side of your body and then rolling over to your back. Knees are bent, and we take one knee and then the other knee in towards the chest, and just let your knees be soft in towards the chest. Here we let our lower back soften, pelvis widen. Now, as my knees are coming in towards my chest, my thighs coming closer to my belly here, this may be where you do notice your breath. With the inhale breath, we want our belly to rise and then fall. Rise and fall. Here is the strength and flexibility. We inhale, we open, strength. Let go. Now we release our right foot and then left foot down towards the ground. Take your feet wider than your pelvis. Take your arms in line with the shoulders. Windshield wiper, knees side to side. You can turn your head the opposite way of your knees as you do the windshield wiper. We feel opening into our spine, letting our wrists release down. Come back to the center. Step the right foot, left foot back. See if you can touch your heels with your fingertips. Again, hips, pelvis open, just let them soften. Arms by the side of the body, always looking up towards the sky. Moving into our next pose, it's the shoulder bridge. So continue to look up to the sky. We lift our pelvis up with our inhale breath. And exhale breath, draw the pelvis down. We do that again. Inhale, lift up and open. Exhale, draw down. Inhale, lift. Exhale down. 2 more times. We lift, we use our breath. We have that inhale strength, flexibility in our body, strength. 1 more time. Inhale, open, we lift, and exhale, release. Draw one knee into the chest. You can draw the right knee into the chest. Extend your left leg straight on the ground. Now hold here. A little change. Turn your right knee out. So turn it out to the side and then hold on to your ankle. Try to keep the foot straight. So hold on to your ankle with your left hand and draw the leg in. So just pull that ankle. Not too much, but enough so you can feel that pull into the outside of the hip. And another little change. Draw the right knee to the left shoulder. You may find that, my hip flexors are a little bit tight. We have only done the mobility, the windshield wiper mobility exercise to open up through our pelvis into the hip flexors a little bit, so we don't need to do such a big opening here. Now, releasing, take your foot down, bending through the left knee, take your left knee into the chest and extend your right leg straight on the ground. Then hold. Hear your breath. A little change is with turning our knee out towards the side. And now holding onto your ankle with your right hand. And our last change is drawing the knee to the opposite shoulder. And releasing. Take your foot back down, bending through the right knee. And back into windshield wiper knee. So step each foot out wider than the hips and taking your arms in line with your shoulders and windshield wiper. You may turn your head the opposite way again as we did before. Come back to the center. Step your right foot, left foot in towards the chest. Cross your right ankle over top of the left knee. Now into figure 4 here. You may hold right here. Or threading the needle, wrap your arms, hands around the left leg. That foot comes off the floor. You could flex both feet to help take pressure off of the knees. You may place your right hand onto the inside of the right knee and gently press out. And breathe. Adding on to this, always this little add-ons, we take our legs up and over to the left side. Now your foot is going to come down. So left foot comes down towards the floor. Hold onto the right ankle with your left hand. Take your right arm in line with the shoulder. Now the knee is going to want to come down. Trying to draw that knee up. So that's the goal, towards the sky. Turn your head the opposite way. And of course, lots of breathing. Bring your head back and take your legs back. Whew. Big openings into the outside of the hip. We're uncrossing. Cross your left ankle over top the right knee. Now it's the same thing the other side. Figure 4 here, and then you may thread the needles. Wrap your arms, hands around the right leg. You may flex both feet to take pressure off the knees. You can place your hand gently onto the inside of the left knee and press forward. We add on the twist. Bring your legs up and over to the right side. Hold onto the left ankle with your right hand. Draw the heel in towards the body. Draw the knee up towards the sky. Bring your left arm in line with the shoulder. Turn your head the opposite way of your knee. Again, seeing if you can hear your breath. And the head comes back to the center. Legs come back towards the center. Take one knee and then the other knee into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Rock side to side. You may rock forward and backward. A little massage into our spine. And then hold, body releases into the ground. Take both legs up and point. Flex the feet. Hold the feet flex. Push your heels up towards the sky. Into the backs of the legs. We open up the legs into a V. Hold on to the outside of the legs. So here, have that support, opening up. Bring your legs back towards the center. Cross your right leg over top of the left leg. And then let the legs dangle. You may hold, just rest your hands onto the knees. Or hold on to your ankles and draw down. This is a version of eagle. Sometimes it's nice to lie on the back and do eagle. So you can have that more balance. Coming out, releasing the legs back into V. This time we cross the left leg over top of the right leg. Bend through the knees, let the legs dangle. Hold onto your ankles or just rest your hands on the knees. The goal is to have our knees stacked over top of each other. Now I'd really like you to turn to your breath. We release and we inhale, open through our legs, and exhale, close and bend through the knees. Knees come into the chest. Float your right foot, left foot down towards the ground. Extend both legs straight on your mat. Inhale, draw your arms overhead. Exhale, let your arms and legs just release down and towards the ground. We do that again. If it's possible, stretch your arms and legs away, and then you can lift your arms up just about an inch or two. So inhale, reach away, and then exhale, let everything go. Just let everything go down. We do that again. Inhale. Now reaching your toes, reaching your arms away through the toes, through the fingers, and then exhale, release. One more time. Inhale, reach away. And then exhale, let everything go. And bring your arms back towards the side of your body. You can rest your hands onto your belly. Resting your hands onto the belly. Close your eyes. Take one hand onto the chest, one hand onto the belly, or both hands onto your belly. And I'd like you to inhale and open up through the front, through the sides, through the back of your body, feeling that rise. Exhale, releasing, feeling the fall. Feel strength in your breath. Hear your breath. It is a Ujjayi breath, breathing into the back of the throat. Your inhale breath is support for the spine. So that's strength. And helping us to improve our flexibility. Exhale, we release our hands back down to the sides, bending right knee, left knee, and then just bring your feet in. Take your right arm overhead and roll over to your right side to fetal. Take a moment, and then nice and strong, coming up to seated. Taking both legs forward. Remove the fleshy part from your bottom. I'm sorry, why am I wearing such dark clothing with my dark belt? Okay, coming into butterfly first. So taking the bottom of your feet together here. Sit up tall. Inhale, breath. Exhale, fold up and over. I'm going to release my arms forward. I'm going to get into a little bit deeper of a fold here. And yes, you can round through the back, make a C curve with the back, let your head hang and release everything. We use our breath again. Inhale, opening up, expanding into the back. Exhale, breath, let your body soften a little bit more. Inhale, breath. We start to draw up. Exhale, breath. Hold. Coming into a twist for butterfly. Inhale, sitting up tall. Exhale, we twist towards the right side first. Inhale, sitting tall. Exhale, twist a little bit more. The last part is looking over your shoulder and thinking of your spine like a spiral staircase, moving from the bottom up, lumbar, thoracic, cervical. With the exhale breath, come out of your twist. So we all probably are working at different paces here. So just use your breath on your own time. Inhale, sitting up tall again. Exhale, now twisting towards our other side. Again, your spiral staircase, lumbar, thoracic, cervical. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, come into the twist a little bit deeper. Out of the twist with the exhale breath. And release, taking both legs forward into legs forward, removing the fleshy part from your bottom. Dandasana, we sit up tall with our hands by the side. You can tent those fingers. You can just let the hands rest here. Don't need to put any pressure on the hands. And sitting up tall, their toes up towards the sky. Seeing if you have 2 fist distance between your ankles. With the exhale breath, release and just let everything go. Here you may have your hips higher than the knees. And I like to sit on the edge of a pillow. You could roll up your mat so you're sitting on the edge of the mat too. So whatever you would like to do, you can bend through the knees. Again, you can have the legs in butterfly. This is for when we fold forward. It's always so good to do is sitting on a chair. You open up through the legs and then you just let your head hang. I love, love, love that pose. So if you have a chair handy right now, you can do that too. So sitting up nice and tall. With the exhale breath, we fold forward, let the head hang, just let your hands rest wherever is good for you. You may look at your big toes. So your gaze, your drishti is at your big toes. You can have nose to the knee. With our inhale breath, we come up. So that was Paschimottanasana, the forward fold, releasing. Now we have a version of eagle when we're seated here. So this will look like crossing, and I'm going to show you a version of this too. Crossing our right leg over top of the left leg. Now both knees are bent. The goal is to have our knees over top of each other. You can hold onto your ankles. Or you're having crossing your right ankle over top of the left knee and then just holding right here. So what would you like to do right now for yourself? You may add a forward fold. These lovely hips again. The inhale breath leads us all back up. Exhale breath, we switch sides. If you would like to do the version, it is having your right leg straight, crossing your left ankle over top of the right knee, or we have both knees bent. Take that left leg over top of the right leg. And again, that goal is to have our knees stacked over top of each other. So just checking to see where you're at. What would you like to do? And with our lovely knees and hips, this is a very big opening. You may add the forward fold with an inhale breath, lift, the exhale breath, hold. Have the inhale breath, we draw back up, exhale breath, releasing. Here, let's windshield wiper our knees side to side. So open up through the legs and then windshield wiper, knees side to side. Releasing. We had our V when we were lying down on the ground. We have a V here and sitting up nice and tall. So open up those legs nice and wide. To help keep the back straight, you can bring your hands behind and then lift up and then fold. Do not worry about how far you come down towards the ground. That's not important. It is how we're opening up, how we're able to release, how we're able to use our breath. So you may have your hands behind or they're in front. And with a nice inhale breath, we lift. The exhale breath, fold forward, our shoulders soften and breathe. Inhale breath. Make your way back up. Exhale breath. And bring one knee in, then the other knee in. Here, take your left leg straight and the right leg, bring your right foot into the inner thigh here. Sitting up nice and tall with an inhale breath, draw the left toes back. Exhale, fold up and over top of the left leg. You soften. Now through our physical postures in yoga, our controlled breath, the movements, the poses that we do, focused awareness. Yoga really does help us to have freedom, and what does not serve us. So we just let our practice guide us. It is truly a gift. With our inhale breath, we draw up. Exhale breath, we change sides and switch. Inhale breath, sitting tall. Exhale breath, draw your toes back and come up and over top of your right leg. Our shoulders soften again. We let ourselves go. We hear our breath, the inhale opening, the exhale release. There's also that strength in that exhale breath, the strength to let go, that push. Inhale, we make our way back up into the next pose, which is Malasana. And it is a squat. It's a low squat. It's nice to use a block. You don't have to sit in a low squat. You can sit on a chair. You may come into another pose, however you like. So I'm just going to show you, if you wanted to use a block, you could, and that you could sit on the block. So it would look like this. So you're going to see me stand up. And then I'm going to turn my knees out. And my toes are out. And then I'm going to sit down, and I can have my block underneath my bottom. And I could sit like this. And continuing to turn my knees out without a block. So you could sit on a chair and just turn your knees out. Fantastic. Or I'm turning my knees out and drawing my tailbone down. And the goal is to have my back straight. You could try that. And then you could release and then come on to the side of the body. Walk away. So remember, use a chair too. Have a chair handy, always good. Come to all fours. And then this is here, you can make fists with your hands. Get stuck. You could tent your fingers, finding what's going to work for you. Shoulders are going to soften here. And into a low lunge. So coming into a low lunge, you don't have to come to all fours. You could do a side sit and then bring one foot forward and then just hold here. And then you can tent your fingers. That's going to take pressure off of your wrists. So come into a low lunge. You may come through downward facing dog to do it. So three-legged dog, and then step your foot in between your hands. And then tent your fingers here. Drop those hips down. It's always good to double up the mat too for the knee if needed. So I'm just going to do it on the other side. Let your head hang. And coming out of this low lunge, release. You may release back into downward facing dog, or however you like to come out. And then three-legged dog into the other side. So now left leg lifts and bend your knee and step your foot between your hands. Now drop that hip to our low lunge here. Just drop. You can have that knee being supported by doubling up and tent your fingers. Your legs are very strong, so let them take that strength. Hold you, balance, inner, outer thigh, supporting. Coming out of the low lunge, you can come back. You don't have to come back into downward facing dog. Just take that leg back. And then everyone come back to all fours. And we are moving into happy baby. And this is a really good pose to do to take pressure off the wrist. So we have a big step forward with the right hand and then into the left hand. Now we're not putting that pressure into the hands. So I want you to release your hips over top of the knees and we let the forehead rest down. Forearms are down. Stepping your hands forward however much that you need. So we're feeling the opening, the stretch into the back of our arms. And coming out of puppy pose and coming up to seated. Wonderful. Into half bow next. Lying on the side of the body, our head rests right here. So this is a version of half bow that we take our top leg and we hold on to the ankle. And now pelvic tilt. So we may lie on the side of the body, or you may lie on the front of your body, hold on to the ankle and pelvic tilt. So only the right side, push the right hip in towards the ground. You may let the forehead rest. We're kicking our foot away as we're pulling in. Coming out of half bow. And now we're switching sides. So you can remain on your belly. I'm just going to switch so that you can switch sides so that you can see me for this side too. Okay, for the other side. So I hold onto my left ankle, pelvic tilt. So it's the same idea if you're doing this into the ground, that you're doing that pelvic tilt with the left side in towards the ground. Now I'm going to kick my foot away and pelvic tilt, push my hip in towards the ground or forward. With our exhale breath, releasing, and roll over, everyone. to the front of your body, prone, and into Shavasana here. Letting the right cheek rest onto your mat. Arms by the side of the body, uncurl the toes, heels up towards the sky. You're still present. And letting the right cheek rest. Of Shavasana, we turn our cheek, our head, and let the left cheek rest. So back into Shavasana. Breathing. Coming out of Shavasana, taking one hand and then the other hand forward and push back to child's pose and into all fours. For our next pose, it's pigeon pose. I shall show you what it will look like here first. Come into downward facing dog. And then, so I'm going to show you different versions. So downward facing dog, three-legged dog, right leg lifts, bend through the knee and turn your right knee out to the left, right wrist. You may come into sleeping pigeon, let the forehead rest. Hips square the whole time. So I'm not uncurling my toes yet. Once I feel, oh yes, my hips are still square, then I can uncurl my toes. So you can come into sleeping pigeon this way too. Take your right leg forward, left leg comes behind, and then fold forward. And then just roll the hips so that your hips are square. And then let the forehead rest. If this doesn't work for your knee, you can sit up here, pelvic tilt, and then twist your body towards the side. Hold. Different options for you. Coming out of sleeping pigeon, you can just come up and roll over to your hip, or you can come back into downward facing dog and then make your way to the other side. Leg lifts, three-legged dog, bend through the knee and turn the left knee out towards the left wrist. And then fold forward for sleeping pigeon. Let the forehead rest. Or you're taking that left leg forward and roll, take your right leg back and roll over so your hips are square, and then fold forward and let the forehead rest. Or we have our twist. Pelvic tilt, twist towards the other side. And we're all breathing. We're all letting go. Coming out of sleeping pigeon. Just making your way back up. You can come into downward facing dog and then release. And then everyone coming back to seated and back into butterfly. And back into butterfly, we take our right foot in towards the groin first. Yes. And then taking your left leg in front. And sitting up nice and tall with an inhale breath. Exhale breath, fold forward and bring your forearms down towards the ground. You could have your elbows down. You could let the forehead rest. You could have just folding forward, let the head hang. What would you like to do right now? We use our breath to help us to open, release, inhale breath, make your way back up, and exhale breath. Hold and switch. So now our left foot comes into the groin first and the right leg in front. With our inhale breath, we sit tall. Our exhale breath, fold. Yourself release. Breathing. Breath. Make your way facing up back to lying on the side of your body. Our head is resting here. We take our top leg and bring it behind. Bring that foot behind. Straighten out. Actually, no, let's not straighten out. We'll just have our knee pointing towards the sky, opening up through our inner thigh. You may take your arm that's overhead, bring it overhead. Pointing our knee up towards the sky, lovely big opening into hip flexors, inner thigh, and coming out, release your arm, close your leg, and we're turning to the other side. So you can just roll over to your other side, but I'm going to roll over just to the other side here so that you can see me. So you can do the same. Your choice. Okay, now top leg, bring that foot behind. The goal is to point our knee up towards the sky, opening up. Bring your arm up and overhead. Different opening into our hips. So you might start to hear your intestines digesting food. And coming out of this pose, take your arm back and bring your knee down and we lift up to the front of our body here. So back to prone, lying on the front of our body. Come into Sphinx with your elbow underneath your shoulder, one side and the other side. So elbows underneath the shoulder, and we lift our chest up, uncurl the toes, draw the navel in towards the spine. So really engaging your energy lock below the navel. Elongating through our spine. Imagine that there There are ice cubes underneath your belly button and lifting away. Shoulders are soft. And now exhale, release, and let the forehead rest onto your hands here. Palms down, stacking your hands over top of each other, and your palms are down. Coming out, so we lift our head. I'd like you to bring your right knee up just for a moment here and let the forehead rest. And now lift your head and take your foot back, and then lift your left knee up. Just slide your knee up towards your armpit. Don't think I said that really correctly. What are you talking about? Lift your knee up. Okay, slide your knee up towards your armpit and let the forehead rest. And coming out, lift your head and take your leg back. Okay, coming back up to our final pose, Shavasana. So for Shavasana, before you come into it, you may do whatever other pose that you would like to do, any other kind of movement. Here is a good time also if you want to use a blanket to cover your body. So just getting yourself ready with anything that you might like for Shavasana. You may lie down onto your back. Your knees may be bent. If you extend your legs, you could have your knees bent and then just place something underneath of the knees, and then that'll take pressure off of the lower back too. Or legs straight, and you can take your right ankle to the right corner of your mat, left ankle to the left corner of the mat. Turn your arms by the side of the body and then turn your palms up. If you wanted to open up through your arms a little bit more and take your arms a little bit more away from the body, you could do that too. Just notice that you are opening up more, so it could make you feel a little bit more vulnerable. You could also lie on the side of the body. Coming into Shavasana for everyone now. We close our eyes. Letting our eye sockets feel heavy. We let our lips part. And we feel our facial muscles soften. Let go, let go, let go. Shoulders release, relax, melt, let go. We feel our upper body soften, melt, let go. Feel our lower body soften, melt, let go. Letting everything that does not serve us release out through our fingers, through our toes, letting the earth absorb everything that we do not need. Our thoughts pass like clouds in the sky. I will call you back when it is time. Slowly starting to come back. Feeling calm from the inside out. Feeling a calm surround you. Feeling happy. feeling strong. You can slowly start to wiggle your toes and fingers. Maybe a shift through the body. If you're lying down, bend your right knee, left knee, and take your right arm overhead, rolling over to your right side to fetal. And then making your way up to a comfortable seated position for yourself. You could have your hips higher than the knees. You could sit on a block, chair. Placing your hands to your heart center. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me. Thinking of all the wonderful things that we have in our life, our blessings. Namaste.